Gather round, hunters, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command. Orion Pirates +1. I'm Lieutenant Commander Tirak of the frigate Warclaws. We continue our campaign against the Romulan Star Empire. And last time we began our campaign in general, but we had to start off with a couple of piracy patrols. We're going to be doing a little bit of Coast Guard work around Merak space so that we can get ourselves enough prestige in order to afford some large, heavy ships so we can actually survive the trip all the way down to the far southeast of the map in order to actually engage the Romulans. We, of course, start in the very northern center, which, yeah, this is one heck of a trek, and we're going to need a starbase to operate from. We're going to need a fleet that can actually manage to survive a couple of engagements. It's going to be rough. So before that happens, we need to build up our resources. So let's go in and continue to take these close-in missions. I'd prefer not to do a convoy escort. Convoy escorts tend to be a little bit dangerous to take, especially early on, because sometimes you can get involved in missions that, well, frankly, what you're pitted up against is absolutely ridiculous. The pirates are incredibly vicious in this if you're not kind of lucky and in a good position. So we're going to take a scanning mission, do a little bit of surveying off on this random planet here. We'll get within a distance of about 10, use our deep scanners to figure out exactly what's going on, and then pull on out of here. If there's an enemy ship around, we can engage them and destroy them for a little bit of bonus prestige, but hopefully we'll be able to get in and out before anybody knows we were ever there. That's my plan anyway. And a quick scan does tell us that there are no enemies currently in the area, although that could change. The planet does block sensor readings, so we will have to be mindful of that. We're going to kick ourselves up to a maximum speed currently and wait for all systems to be fully charged. Once they are, we get some more power back, which allows us to sap even more power out of the ship. We can't quite make a maximum speed of 31 with all of our weapons currently being held in charge, but that's all right. Any little, as far as we get, is good enough at this point. We're going to take this opportunity to prep our scatter pack just in case. The scatter pack doesn't take any power to charge, just takes time and missiles, of which we have a decent-ish number of. Although I think we're down to 8 additional reloads in this rack and 7 additional reloads in this rack. So we're going to pull up to the planet, scan it, and then get on out of there. So we'll increase the speed of times just so we can zoom in here a little bit quicker than usual. And once we're within range, we'll be able to figure out exactly what's going on. Also, we need to be somewhat careful not to smash into the planet. Planets are, of course, well, large and hard objects that if you actually hit, you're going to have a really bad day. We're within range, so let's kick on the deep scan. We're starting to scan the planet itself as we pull into range right now. And we'll set ourselves up into a nice, shallow little parking orbit. Just steadily drift around as our science officer gets all the information that he could ever possibly need. And wait for him to come up with something that, see whether or not we've successfully accomplished the mission. We're going to tighten this turn just a little bit so we can keep on a little bit closer to it. And that way it can increase the speed of time. Make sure we're not hitting. They have begun the scan. And what sort of information? We have the planetary data we have come for. So the primary mission is complete. We can shut off the deep scan, pull away from the planet, and we're going to check the map. See how much room we've got around this planet. Because if there's no enemy... Oh, that's mission complete. There wasn't anybody here at all. So a nice, easy survey mission where we came in, scanned what we got, and only 20 prestige. But it's a positive mission result nonetheless. We'll pop back up here and take that convoy escort. Apparently it's available, so we might as well go on it. Hopefully it won't be too difficult, or at least we'll have escorts if it is too difficult. So red alert and start to kick on the speed. There does appear to be a single enemy ship, and we're going to slow down the speed of time just to make sure that we can actually get things done. Is that our enemy? That does appear to be our enemy, and it's a Federation double-hull freighter at this range. According to this, it's an FLDR. It's called the Poacher. We're not seeing any other ships, though, so that's pretty good. We'll send a probe just as soon as we can. There it goes now. And we'll figure out exactly what it is we're getting involved in. I am going to prep the scatter pack. If you don't use it, you get it back. So there's no reason not to scatter pack. Or at least unless you're fighting against plasma races, in which case you want to set up a couple of wild weasels in order to take on their incoming plasma torpedoes. So, deep scans tell us that he's equipped with 2 missile launchers as well as 3 Phaser 2s and a Phaser 3. Phaser 3s are point defense weapons. They're designed mostly to shoot down missiles, and that's about it. The Phaser 2s are, well, they're crap. Phaser 2s are previous generation weaponry, so this would be like using, oh, say, a lever action, yeah, probably a lever action rifle versus the bolt action rifles. Or, say, a World War I rifle versus a World War II rifle. That would probably be the better way to put it. They're capable, they're just not as useful or effective as Phaser 1s, which are much more power efficient and have better range. So we're going to take full advantage of that. His point defense systems, though, should be relatively good. He will no doubt have some form of tractor beam with which he will be able to take on our missiles, and a single Phaser 3 should be enough to support him for what he's intending doing. However, we may as well start getting set up a little bit. We're going to drop down in speed, down to 16. Our closing rate is quite high, so by the time we have a second missile, he's probably going to already be grabbing onto them. We should have begun this a little bit earlier on so that we could start stacking missiles up on top of each other. But we're going to come on in. We'll line up the disruptor. He's already starting to fire into our forward shield, but our forward shield is reinforced. And damage that doesn't penetrate the reinforcement deals no permanent damage. So fire disruptor didn't manage to hit. He wild weaseled. That's fascinating. So he dropped a wild weasel shuttle designed to mimic the drive signature of his ship. And by doing that, he's had to crash stop to stay underneath the speed of which the Wild Weasel can cover him. If he travels faster than the speed of 4, his engine signature overpowers what the Wild Weasel can output, because it's just a little shuttle, and makes it so that he can be targeted again. So we're going to drop our scatter pack now, because he can't drop another Wild Weasel for a whole other turn. So we're going to open fire with our missiles, open fire with our scatter pack. We're going to flood him with a lot of firepower. And I'm also checking to see how many drones I can control. So we can only control a maximum of 6. We may have found that out last episode, but I forgot about it. So that'll be 6 missiles right on top of him that he can grab one, and then the rest just punch right through. And look at that. We've completely knocked out his port side phaser 2. We've caused damage to his drone racks. We have done quite a number on him already. And as we pull through, we're actually going to be on the port side of his ship, where his point defense has already been reduced. So he's in a bad way at this point. He's launched missiles at us, but that's okay. We're going to kick up the speed just a little bit, and he's not going to be able to do anything about it. Cascade failure. His tractor beams dropped, which let the rest of the missiles come through, which took out the entire ship. So, pretty effective little scout escort there. We did all right. Now, sometimes escort missions can be worth quite a bit, but I don't think that one's going to be worth all that much. Yeah, 286 is okay, but it's not amazing. And mainly because, well, the only thing we were fighting was, well, a freighter that was converted to have a couple of extra weapons. I just realized we're pretty low on additional supplies, so let's come into our miscellaneous. I want more spare parts, but really I want mines and marines, because mines and marines are very useful. Mines because that can force the enemy to move away from you, and marines because you can blow up stuff on the enemy ship by boarding them. It's quite fun. We have another mission we can take. It's a salvage mission. Salvage mission just means that a ship got destroyed. There's stuff floating around. You can go in to pick up free spare parts. But I think we're going to be just fine. We're probably going to want to trade this ship in sometime soon for something bigger and better. So spending a whole bunch of extra time just picking up spare parts, not really all that interested. So we have picked up a fleet action. Unfortunately, I don't see any friendly fleet. So this ought to be interesting. I was expecting several additional ships to be alongside with us, but that does not appear to be the case. We are all on our lonesome. So perhaps we're scouting out the enemy fleet. Now we can bail out if we need to. We don't have to fight the enemy. We can always just rush to the edge of the map and try and warp away. But it would be much better if we could knock out a whole bunch of enemies. So we're cruising on into the map, still not seeing the enemy. Wow, I'm actually really surprised we haven't seen them yet. Let's come over here, activate a deep scan. That'll increase our sensor range by 33%. And if we don't see him by then the map may have spawned with nothing on it. Oh, nope, we got a target. Okay. So it does appear to be a Lyran frigate off on the edge of our range. We got 2 Lyran frigates. Ooh, that's really dangerous. So we have 2 enemy vessels off on long range. We're going to deactivate the deep scan. We don't need it anymore. So we're going to have to deal with them hopefully as fast as possible. We need to set up our scatter pack because we're going to need to deal with them relatively quickly. According to the fleet screen, we're dealing with an FLG, which I believe has a single expanding sphere generator and pretty decent phaser armament. Off over here, it is an FF, so a straight-up frigate. He's got disruptors on board, so he's the more dangerous one. He's more dangerous if we get in close, but this guy, he can plink at us and play the long-range game. Being outnumbered 2-to-1 also puts us at a severe disadvantage, so I'm not sure how long we're going to be able to hang around here. It may be a case of strike and run. Although we did recently pick up Marines, so we might be able to actually pull something off. As we get into closer range, we'll be able to get a decent idea of what exactly he's carrying. We're going to put a point into ECM and just double check to make sure we are reinforcing the forward shield, which we are. Power screen tells me that I've got 3 points of power on the forward shield, so that should be enough for a short period of time. But I really want to save the scatter pack for the FF, because the FF is going to be more dangerous, I feel. I might be wrong on that, but we did just finish the Lyran campaign, so I don't think I am. So he has 4 Phaser 3s and 2 Phaser 2s, so he's got more than enough firepower to take out all of our drones. But I'm going to dump these drones anyway as I come on around and get some nice hits here. A disruptor shot right on in, and he's had to pick that drone up, which is very good. Actually, I'm going to respond in a kind on that one, because it's going to be very critical that we deal a lot of damage to this guy. So I'm slowing down the speed of time, unlike the opposite of what we normally do, so I can dump a mine right on top of him. It's going to slam his rear shield. At least it should. Is it going to pop? Oh, I think he pulled just out of it just in time. So that's not great. So we took some damage on that, and he didn't. Our phasers are ready to go, but only the close range ones slow down the speed of time because we're going to respond in kind. So up top, drop on top of him. So that's the first of our mines, and we may have to dump speed here just so we can get some more things done. So that should go off now. Got him. Drop another mine. And we may not have the transporter available for it. Nope, there it is. So drop the mine right there. We're going to continue to pull away. Hopefully that mine is outside of our range, so it'll still arm. Yep, it's still armed. Excellent. And hopefully we're not inside the range of the mine either. Alright, so we managed to cause a little bit of damage to him. I don't think we have a third transporter. Or maybe we do, and if we do... No, we don't. Okay, so the mine... We've done the mine damage that we can. Back up to full speed of time. And focus on hurting him. We've knocked out one of his phaser 2s, which is really good. So we'll set up missiles and start engaging him again. His point defense phasers, those 4 phaser 3s, they're still intact. But I think they may only cover the rear arc. Nope, they definitely cover the front arc. So we've caused a little bit of damage to him, but he's caused a little bit of damage to us. We don't need to do anything with the mines. Oh, that's an ESG. Full power. Full power, and we dump a mine out the stern. So we gotta run from this guy. So that ESG, that's a bubble of energy that surrounds his ship, and if we touch that bubble, it's gonna cause a lot of damage to us, so we need to stay far away from him. Luckily, we have the speed to do that. How's my missile rack doing? Okay, it's just a graphical glitch. We're fine. So we're just gonna stay nice and far away from him, not give him an opportunity to cause damage to us. Although he does have that phaser 2, which will unfortunately hurt us. Oh, we got the shield in time. And we turned and knocked down his shield. Excellent. We've gotta hopefully keep the fight away from him because he'll have disruptors, I believe. I might be wrong on that, though. Alright, so he's repairing those phaser 2s. Now we're going to slow down a little bit. And then we're going to fire all weapons. One, this will eat up his drone, so he can't shoot at us so effectively. And I'm going to slow down the speed of time. And go mines. F1 screen so I can see on top of them. Bombs, please. Oh, I think oh, no, we're out of mines. Okay, so we can't do that anymore. We have already used up our complement of doing cheesy tactics to him. It's something that I hate doing, but I'm so worried about how many enemy forces that we're currently facing that I'm willing to give anything a shot at this point. So him being right on my stern is not a place I want him to be, but we managed to get our shot through his shield and did 4 damage to him, whereas he hasn't really done much damage to us, although this missile launcher does not appear to be loading as fast as I'd like it to be. How are you doing, Mr. Frigate? He's about to pull in range. We need to really get the stern away from both these guys, because the stern is a weak spot. The more damage to the back of the ship that they deal, the more likely that damage will deal damage to the warp core. And if it damages the warp core, we'll start losing power. And power is key to keep online. Unfortunately, we really only have one phaser that we can fight back with. And one phaser is very difficult to start causing enough damage to really knock a ship out of combat. But we may get lucky, hopefully. Alright, so he's coming on in here. Dump a couple of missiles on him. He's got more than enough point defense to handle that, but maybe I can bait him into doing something stupid. Alright, he managed to miss with that, but is that going to get through? Or are you going to have to... He tractor beamed it. Interesting. If I can get another missile salvo on him, I may force him to dump a Wild Weasel, and if that happens, we can follow up immediately with Scatterpack. So I'd like to get my Disruptor on target, but that's not going to happen, because we're just traveling too fast. We can't cut the corner that quickly, but I'll try and get another missile salvo on him. Oh, please don't support him with that. If I can get enough missiles on him... it didn't happen. Phasers. Phasers are good. Missiles. I need to bait out. Bait out that Wild Weasel. I need to make him think that he has no choice. But his phaser 3s are doing a good job of keeping that from having happen. I need to cut this corner tighter, so I'm slowing down, reducing my speed a little bit, so that I can get around a little bit sharper, and that's going to bring us into disruptor range, but no good shot there. Although we can also bring our forward phaser on target, get it nice and close, a good strafing run right there. Now the thing we do have to worry about, oh, that was not terrible, but also not great for us. The thing we have to worry about is that ESG. But we have an open shot on his stern, and so if I can start getting good phaser shots on here, I can maybe take that system offline. We do, of course, need to avoid getting too close to him. Otherwise, he's just going to cause a lot of pain for us. Again, trying to swing the stern away from the enemy. And if at any point we feel like we really can't do anything, we can pull away and just run. And that may actually be an option of something that we'll take. So we get one shot, and he's turning hard into me. I'm not quite sure why he's doing that. I don't see him trying to use his ESG, which would require him to get very, very close to me. Oh, but that was a good shot by him. He punched right through our shields. He's dealt 3 points of damage, which is 9 points of speed in a ship this small. So we're in a really bad spot now. But I really don't want to disengage on this one, because if we do, he's going to just have a free-for-all going after us. So I need to come up with a way that's going to put him in a position where he can't defend himself. And unfortunately, as long as they're stacked on top of each other, I don't have a whole lot of good angles. Are you going to pick that up? No, they're close enough to support each other. So our disruptor's offline, which is not a tragedy, to be honest. The disruptor is not what we've been dealing damage with. We've been mostly working on that center, that one phaser. It may be a good idea, though, to high energy turn just to try and get a better angle on this assault. So we do have a defense shift of 1. That's helping us out a lot. He's not able to do as much damage as he might otherwise normally be able to. I really think we want to turn this ship. I need to get a better angle on this. Just doing this loop with him is not working. So we need to pull on in. And wait for it. Oh, crap. That's his ESG. He grabbed both of those missiles. And that's his ESG, too. I thought that was his ESG activating. I saw him glow, but maybe that was the reflection off of this guy, who is definitely turned on. I need a good shot with my phasers on through his shields, but I just don't have a good angle on it. Okay, it may be best just to set tracks and run. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to set them to our stern. We're going to set all reinforcement to our stern. And we're going to head on out of here. It's 2-on-1. We really don't have enough missiles moving forward. We're down to our last couple of reloads. We do have the scatter pack, but the moment we launch the scatter pack, all they're going to do is immediately respond by activating a Wild Weasel shuttle. And then the scatter pack's going to do absolutely nothing at all. So we're going to pick up the pace. We're going to run on out of here. Unfortunately, he's going to be quite accurate against us. How much spare power do I currently have? Not a lot. So I think, no, we're charged up as much as we're going to be. Let's check out the map, see how close. Oh, we're heading away from the map edge. That's not great. But there is one down here to the south, so we'll head right on for that. Unfortunately, our shields are open towards him, so shots through will cause damage. Even worse is that we're probably through our armor at this point. Frigates don't have a lot of armor, so if they deal enough damage to us, they can slow us down and try and get to us before we reach the border. And that would not be ideal. And unfortunately, we can't really do much about them being in front of me, so I'm going to dump a couple of missiles back on him. If he grabs them, then he'll have to slow down. And he did, okay. And he's holding on to both of them. And I really don't have enough to re-engage that. But I'm going to fire again at him. I mean, may as well. I have the ammunition. I'm surprised his phasers weren't able to take them out, though. Oh, are we just completely out of ammo? No, it's the graphical glitch on this one. We'll increase the speed of time. We may get a single shot out of it with the missiles again. So the last missile, let's see what happens with it. That was a Wild Weasel, and that's a super, super narrow opportunity. So we're going to come in here at full bore now, because if we get a good angle on this, we can at least knock out the FLG. And if the FLG is down, we might be able to kill something. So the trick is I've got to get in here soon enough to make sure that I get the shot off. And also, without him shooting down my Wild Weasel shuttle, or my Scatterpack shuttle, which I don't think he's going to be able to dump that now. Phasers to nail him, and we're going to pull away and start patching the disruptor, I guess. Because if we're going back in on this, then we may have an opportunity to pop. Popped right in front of him. He doesn't have a Wild Weasel. And, oh, he's doing too fast for it. Can I draw him into the missiles? If I pull him on a hard enough turn, I may just draw him in to the missiles themselves, and he won't be able to stop it. I just got to keep him on a steady turn so the missiles come at him. But it's not going to be easy, especially because we're right amongst all of them. Unfortunately, I think he's managed to deal with it. He was doing too high of a speed for it to matter. And so we tried it. We took a shot. It's always worth taking a shot in this game. But didn't work out, so we're going to pull on out of here. So let's curl back around so we can actually head towards the edge of the map. Don't be that close to me. And we'll kick up the speed to full power. So they're hitting through, dealing some damage. We'll patch that up real quick. and just run out of here. So they're blasting away with the disruptors. Disruptors are excellent weapons for shooting at retreating ships, because you just need a little bit of damage, and disruptors are very accurate weapons. Luckily for us, these Lyrans can't hit the broads out of a barn, so we can get out of here nice and safely. Zip on out of here. So we entered into a fleet action apparently ahead of the rest of the fleet. Nobody else showed up to the party, so that's unfortunate, but we managed to survive. Unfortunately, we're unsuccessful in our attempt. Next time, send some friends along. So we'll pop back here real quick, put a little bit of prestige into the resupply, and some more spare parts, and definitely the mines. The mines were very useful. It's kind of a shame that we weren't able to get more done with them. Quick little buy of that, and reload the missiles, and we are good. But that's actually going to do it for today's episode. Got into a little bit of a scuffle, able to take on a little bit of a convoy escort duty. Took on 2-on-1, but unfortunately we just didn't have quite enough firepower to be able to force them to a situation that would have given us an advantage. Maybe when we get a slightly larger ship, we'll have more chances to do that. But for now, frigates can be a little bit temperamental. But anyway, I've been Tirek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see a notification every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon. Leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode.